felt he was also doing a similar exercise. I wanted to be with him. What I actually wanted to share before all of you is today we are in a situation where 10 years of very hard work has been done. But that is only a foundation. The possibility of growing very much more, very much faster is something which is there before us. Now, we have seen in this 10 years, we started as Fragile 5, we have now ended up in top 5, we will be moving beyond that. In different ways, we have not only brought back growth, but also inclusive growth. All the yojanas and Abhyans have actually made progress and prosperity not only for the middle class and above, but we have actually carried all sections of the population with us. Outside India, this is a part which I deal with a lot. I think we have also managed very difficult situations. We have, what is happening in the Middle East and Gulf now, what is happening in Ukraine, how to manage different people, Russia and America, how to carry different partners in the Gulf, how to deal with all our neighbors. All of this has been going on as well. And particularly, I think for a very globalized state like Kerala, it is very important that Indians who are traveling abroad feel more confident in emergencies, but also feel more confident in normal time. Tomorrow, it may not be a situation like Ukraine or Sudan, but it can be simple thing like you lose your passport. How long does it take to get a replacement? Somebody is in a situation, where they need financial support. They need embassies, consulates to respond more effectively. So these are today what has been achieved. So what is the vision we are looking forward to? Because I think it is something which will be professionally relevant to many of you. One, clearly we are heading for a global workplace. Global workplace where many more Indians in different professions, particularly health profession, will be going out to work. You have already seen signs of it. In many places, doctors are going, nurses are going, health professionals are going, other professionals in different streams are also going. The second is actually a global health place, where we are going to have a situation where many countries in the world, you can see this, there is, if you read about challenges of other societies, in many cases the health system is breaking down. And part of the reason is they don't have qualified professionals. They have stopped investing in upgrading of their systems. So it is one part of it which we all know, we are used to, is people from India going out. I think the other part of it which we'll have to look increasingly is how do we create today a situation where actually the health industry of India has a bigger market. And to do this, it is not only in health. We have to make it easier for people to move. We have to create more airports. We have to have more effective airlines. The systems have to be smoother and easier really for people to come. And people will come, we can build a health partnership if there is trust. Because trust, this, whatever you might say, particularly after COVID, and after all this competition among countries, actually today trust is a very important quality, it's a premium demand, I would say, in the world. So it can be digital. Today we want to send our data only where there is trust. Similarly, even in health, health also means health data. It means having trust in the professionalism of other systems. So this, how to create a workplace, how to create a health place, the whole idea of, how do we, like we have said, make in India and make for the world. I think also we have to look today, heal in India, but heal for the world. This is today actually an opportunity waiting there to happen. These were some of the thoughts which were in my mind, so I thought I can place it before you, but if there is any issue on which I can be more helpful, I will be very happy to be.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Any urgent questions somebody would like to raise? Okay.
Good evening, sir. My name is Dr. Anup Lal. I'm a doctor who is a technologist, and I have two healthcare technology companies. One is a medical robotics company, and one is a technology-enabled primary healthcare company. What I'm trying to say today is not about that, but about a solution that we have been working on. A group of medical professionals and technologists, we have been working to create something called the Sustainable Healthcare Alliance. And it has started implementing several projects. The objective is to make healthcare sustainable in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals in India. And we have developed a number of technology solutions whereby healthcare can be cost effective to both the public as well as the healthcare providers. And in this line, we are organizing a global sustainable healthcare summit here in Trivandrum in the month of December this year. And we are planning it. The venue is not finalized, probably in Kovalam. I would like to take this opportunity to request that the Honorable Prime Minister and Health Minister of the country be part of that. We are trying also to invite Bill Gates for this summit. And it would be a great honor for Trivandrum if the Union Ministry is part of this, and also from some help from your side to bring Bill Gates also. This is my earnest request. Let's make healthcare sustainable for India. Thank you so much.
You know, I want to request all of you to think a little bit about our G20 experience, because it is actually indirectly going to answer your point. Before us, many other countries also did G20. Okay, everybody, I think we are 17th or 18th country to do it. But nobody did G20 the way we did G20. We did it in 60 cities. In Kerala alone, I think there were 8 or 9 G20 related events. I am saying this today because it was a demonstration to ourselves today that we are capable of many more international events, international gatherings. This is how you build up a brand. You create a brand, you build up a reputation. So even because, you know, I'm from Delhi, but as a minister also I live in Delhi. You know, I always wondered after so many years, it is only recently we now actually have world-class facilities where people from across the world can come and we do justice to ourselves. Now we would like this actually because we have shown in G20, we are capable of it. So it could be health, it could be other professions also. We need today to build up different sectors and make them international. Because being global does not only mean exporting things. It doesn't mean our people will go to work in other people's hospitals or institutions or hotels or airlines. It is time today actually that others come here, and also even as institutions we export it. I must share with you, in the foreign ministry today many countries are asking us, saying, can you come and set up a hospital in our country? That they are not anymore interested only in the professional. They actually want a one-stop solution for a health need. Because you can see there are many regions in the world today where there are actually big deficits in healthcare. So I think it's a very commendable initiative what you are doing. And certainly, please, after June, please write to us, let us know, and we'll certainly look at it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Kalpana. I'm the managing director of a small hospital, 50-bedded hospital in Pothankot. I have some 5 points to highlight. One is, sir, I feel that the doctor's salary is very less here when compared to the staff nurses, because we are facing a very big challenge when the staff nurses are being recruited in our hospital. We cannot pay like all staff nurses $30,000 or 40,000 per month. But I think as the doctors community has got a very less strength, unity in between. Though we are here, but the unity is very less in between us. So that has to be considered a lot. That the employer is facing a lot. I mean, small setup hospitals, not the corporates, the small setup hospitals is facing a lot nowadays. Secondly, I need to tell you about every BPL and APL is actually doing well here in Kerala. But when you take I'm from a middle class family, but when you take a health issue in a middle class family, now I have few people in my family itself who needs almost like 2.5 to 2.6 lakhs for a treatment a month. We have Star Health, all those things, but they don't cover anything. So like if we go, we have I think some Medicep, some insurance like that, which won't give anything at all. So the central government has to take a, it should be like an insurance to everybody, not even like an APL or a BPL, because health is not, segregated to a single person. Anybody can get it. So kindly take that into consideration. Then third thing is, I think everybody is telling about the number of medical colleges to be there and here, everywhere, in every kilometer like that. I don't think that is that is required nowadays, because in Kerala we have enough number of medical colleges. And I'm seeing that I was, I was actually teaching in some institutions in Trivandrum or in some other institutions. I have seen that the quality of the medical students are coming down very drastically, especially in India itself. And that is the reason why we are getting so much of blows from everywhere. That is not the result of this, I of course say that these people are actually becoming so violent to this doctor fraternity, but see the quality of the doctors that we are giving to the community. It's very drastically. I think they can only make a diagnosis if you have an ultrasound scan or a CT or an MRI, nothing with this clinical skill. I think that has to be mandatory. I think we have enough medical colleges now. We have to increase the quality, not the quantity of students. A medical student has a minimum, at least in a SSLC examination, above 400. Kindly consider that. Not everybody has to be a doctor. Fourthly, what I want to tell is, I'm really sorry, you are the Minister of India, but this is only the platform which I can share this to you too. I think you people are also getting salary every month, but in Kerala, all the ministers, though they are getting a minimum 1 lakh per month, needs our payment, which is given as tax, as for the medical bills and all. If they are given salary, they can take money for their treatment from their salary itself, not from the tax which we are giving. If they can take the, this thing from our tax and all, we also have the same consideration, because every citizen is a citizen in India. I think they all get the priority. Not all the ministers can take this money from the tax which we give for their medical treatment and for all their in and out, abroad visits. I think you can understand why I'm telling, because we are in Kerala where our ministers are always traveling for just a small treatment to America. We have very good doctors here. I don't want to name the person because I'll be then behind the bars. But I've seen that even the Chief Minister of Kerala needs a small surgery and he wanted to go to America for the treatment, and I think it was more than 70 lakhs or 80 lakhs. I think we all are, if he doesn't trust us, who will trust us then? I'm really sorry to say, if I hurt anybody, I'm really sorry for that. Thank you so much.
Well, what can I say? I am a doctor, but I'm a non-medical doctor. So I listened to what you said with great attention and with a lot of empathy. And I must say, for many of us, during this COVID period. The COVID period was a period where I think the entire country really appreciated what the medical fraternity of this country did, because if we came through it, I mean, because I'm the foreign minister, I was in the unusual position of traveling, not for health treatment, traveling for professional matters outside in different countries of the world. And I could actually compare, because one thing which Prime Minister Modi did, each one of us every day, even during lockdown period, we were visiting medical facilities, being there ourselves, encouraging people, motivating people, comforting people at times. When I looked at what our medical fraternity did during COVID, and I use COVID because it is a once in a century happening, I would say it was something which has been really should make us all tremendously proud. And I attribute our rebound today from COVID really to the kind of manner in which the medical sector stepped up. Regarding your point, look, I sympathize with it. And in fact, to be very honest, I, for 41 years of my life, I was a foreign service officer. Much of the period I lived abroad. But I can tell you in many cases, touch wood, I never had a major medical problem, but I, in many cases, would put off things and rather come home and get it done than get it done outside. So I am a little bit baffled at why, in fact, today I was discussing some dentistry problem with someone. To go to a dentist outside India is an experience I do not wish on anybody. So when I look actually today, look, we use this word Atmanirbhar Bharat. What does Atmanirbhar Bharat mean? It means a kind of a self-belief and a pride and a confidence in ourselves. And I take your point that if the people who set an example in society do not express that confidence, how will the rest of the society get it? So when you say today, make in India, vocal for local, one district, one product, admire our craftsmanship, at the end of the day, the more things we do, amongst ourselves, and the way we build up our own industry. And, I totally take your sentiment. We cannot, on one hand, say that the country is progressing and then for our own personal needs, not have that vote of confidence. It's a legitimate point. On your issue about, quality, the quality versus quantity, it is a legitimate issue. There's been a very rapid increase of institutions in different domains, medical, engineering, IT, etc. The answers are not all quantitative. Clearly, you cannot grow at the expense of quality. I accept that point. And it is not just in human resources. I think even if we are making products, if we are exporting abroad, it is important that our quality, we should get a reputation for good quality people, good quality goods, good quality services. Today, it is a very competitive world, and quality is something, and eventually all this becomes part of our branding. That if our stock has gone up in the world today, it is because as individuals, as people who make products, as people who deliver services, as organizations, we have created a reputation. So in the pursuit of, I say we should not be short term, I accept your point, we should pay much more attention to it. And certainly, part of what is is seen as a goal of the new education policy, which really we expect in the, after the election to take a much more serious form, is actually addressing the quality issue. No, I think the gentleman wanted a okay.
Myself, Dr. Shamlal, Senior Consultant Neurologist and Group Head, KIMSL Thiruvananthapuram. Also, I am the Chairman of District Committee, Indian Medical Association Thiruvananthapuram. Last 10 years, I think we got a lot of developments in health sector. one of the important developments was the Pradhana Mantri Jana Aushadhi pharmacies. But I would like to bring on concern regarding this Jana Aushadhis. I am a neurologist and I see a lot of patients, and most of the patients were taking anti-epileptic medications and all. And I was very happy that because Jana Aushadhi was providing medicines at a very low cost. So most of the patients asked me whether we can take medicines from Jana Aushadhi from the standard brands. So I suggested definitely you take it, it's an opportunity. But most of the patients developed seizures, means epilepsy again, and I was forced to tell them to go back to the original medication. This was because though it was intended for a good purpose, the quality, there was no quality check for the medications through the Jana Aushadhi. One of my suggestion is there should be a immediate action to check the quality of the medicines in the Indian pharmacy, especially through the Jana Aushadhi, because otherwise it will not work well. Okay, thank you.
No, I note your point. I certainly will pass it on to the health minister, but I think it is a concern which we are already cognizant of, because when I was saying it's not only quality of people, I didn't want to say it, but since you mentioned it, I think it is also when we look, we are today a very big pharmaceutical producer, pharmaceutical exporter. I think it is very important that as we grow up in that domain, our quality also commensurately goes up, because any report, justified or otherwise, can actually do us a lot of harm. So I think, I note your point. I certainly will share with my colleague Mansukh Bhai, who is the health minister, that this is something which we should be looking at.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Matthew Jose. I'm a maxillofacial surgeon. I'm a teacher in maxillofacial surgery in one of the dental colleges for the last 24 years. My concern is in the recent curriculum, the revised curriculum is going to come soon. It is their government is incorporating yoga and Ayurveda in dentistry. So yoga is good. Everybody knows that Ayurveda is very much proven its own track record. It has its own track record. What is the relevance? Your course is in the same time, and somebody talked about the quality of training, teaching, everything. And there is the time, 4 year or 4.5 year is designated for teaching our specialty, or 3-year post-graduation is meant for that. And if you are adding these courses again, and we are wasting our time and these are another big areas. 3 months, 6 months training, it is substandard training only, absolutely no benefit. So I think it should be seriously considered in these piecemeal training in our established specialties like dental surgery, or in our specialty maxillofacial surgery. Thank you.
I note what you say. I mean, as I understood what you said, you are basically saying that take that also seriously and make it a much more specialized.
So I am Dr. Devin Prabhakar. I represent the Private Doctors Association, QPMB. The Ayushman Bharat scheme is a very innovative scheme that is giving a lot of solace to a lot of people, and Rajiv sir was also saying regarding that. The current issue is that we got around 1,000 crore that is due to the private hospitals. The health is a concurrent aspect, meaning the state government and the central government work together in this, and fund comes from the state and from the central government. Now the issue with Kerala is that around 1,100 crores is pending in the private hospitals from the last financial year, and only around 150 crores are passed recently. So can anything be done with the central government and state government working together to ensure that the stakeholders, that the hospitals who are doing the work for the common man, they get paid on time? And I'm very happy that the Union Finance Ministry is coming up with the scheme for MSME to get timely payment. I think that is from the next financial year that is going to come up. But I look forward to support from the central government, and I think Rajesh sir should also be, because it's very specific to Kerala and to Thiruvananthapuram, because a lot of hospitals are facing a big issue with getting timely payments from the government for the service that we have already done. And that is causing a lot of hospitals to have very high financial trouble in paying the staff salary on time and paying the vendors on time too. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now I hear you. I can understand, because I think timely payment I mean, timely payment is a perennial issue, not only in this sector. And I can understand, I mean, if payments are delayed, that itself makes what is otherwise a good initiative dysfunctional. So I again note that suggestion and your suggestion as well.
Good evening, sir. I'm Gopinath Sunil. I'm an endocrinologist working in the US for the past 30 years. I'm an endocrinologist working in the US for the past 30 years. Keep coming back and forth. I'm one of those doctors that Dr. Kalpana referred to, that I keep seeing the ministers in the US as well as I keep treating them here also. But I have got two questions for especially you, sir, as a foreign minister. Number one is, why are drugs which have been banned or have been considered substandard in the US being dumped here and being used as prime medication? And they're being sold for quite a big premium, and I don't understand why the government is not doing anything about it, or at least asking people like us who are in this field. See, I'm an advisor to the government there. I'm actually currently working for the federal government. And I was thinking that I had this 30 years of experience working in field of nutrition. And in fact, I was part of the group who has made recommendations for making recommendations for the federal guidelines for nutrition. And in those lines, what I'm seeing is that, take a simple example of taking the products like biscuits. In the biscuits, there is something called predatory marketing, where they tape the ingredients content right over line. So you have to literally peel the sticker and then look underneath what it has. And most of the time, these things contain palm oil. And palm oil is a very significant obstructor of insulin action. So these people, whoever was doing this, know that we have a genetic problem where we cannot process the insulin properly, and to augment that problem by blocking that insulin efficacy, they're taxing our pancreas hard. And a lot of young lives are being lost because of complications of diabetes. And these days, I'm appalled to hear that there's so much of pancreatic cancer that people are being diagnosed. Recently, we lost an orthopedic colleague here from pancreatic cancer. And this is not fair, and this is purely through a nutritional manipulation that people are able to do this. And I see that recently there is a big onus for converting agricultural land to growing more palm oil, because palm oil has got best yield per hectare in the agriculture sector. Okay? It's a big cash crop. So people are converting their traditional rice fields and things like that into this product. So I think the government should take a serious note about this, and especially when India is one of the biggest importers of palm oil right now. So I would bring this to you as a serious health concern, and I want your attention on this, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And look, my response would be that in many cases, I mean, I'm not professionally competent in what to judge what you are saying, but in what is happening. See, we are also today evolving as an economy, as a government, as a regulatory system. It doesn't happen overnight. I think people need to take interest, people need to give inputs, people need to communicate in many cases to the institutions and the people. And in our country, we're all pretty good at doing it. We have some networking, we have ways of getting that point across. Often, those who are, let us say, setting standards, because, again, this is a big ongoing issue in our country. I mean, in a very, very basic way, it was what our colleague said here, which is, quality of education she's talking about. But pretty much, you take anything we do, quality of fuel, quality of emission, quality of food, quality of health standards, quality of pharma. This is actually part, progress and prosperity is not just a function of more production, you know that. So this is part of the journey in which we are going, and which is why we have to reform our institutions, which is why we have to expose them to what is happening in the world, which is why it's important not to be cut off from the world. On the one hand, we should be more confident about ourselves, do more things, but we should always try to be benchmarked vis-a-vis the world. And lot of the standards issues that we face very often. I mean, it could be in the pharma field, it could food safety itself. If you look at FSSAI, that has today been given a degree of, I would say, seriousness and prominence, which it didn't have earlier. And in many cases, if you look even in trade, you are talking about being dumped from America. We get a lot of stuff which is dumped by some other countries, because mainly on a price basis. And we don't often have the standards which are many countries use standards as a kind of filter, that you have to pass a standards level in order for that to come in. It is something we are working on. I think there's been a lot of progress made, but I would certainly say, as someone who's knowledgeable in that field, you should make your point of view known, particularly to the people who are regulating food products.
So I'm Dr. Jaishankar. I'm a plastic surgeon. I've been trained in the UK. I'm back here. So I'm only speaking local issues. I'm not going global. What you can do with your department, I think first and foremost is health tourism. Because, I've been here at the pinnacle of health tourism and I had a good go till COVID struck us. And as an external affairs minister, I'm sure you can take the initiative in rejuvenating the health tourism sector. And I want Trivandrum to be one of the finest centers of health tourism. One complaint I've heard from my foreign patients is regarding getting medical visas. I don't know, sir, whether it's still a relevant issue, getting a medical visa for treatment. And the thing is, one of the patients told me that they have to go and report to a local police station. I think that you don't expect a patient who has come for treatment to walk all the way to a local police station and to do a sort of a registration. That's one thing. And let me just finish off my points. And another thing that we are facing in Kerala, because I run a cosmetic surgery center, which is considered as a small-scale institution, the localized government is putting a lot of pressure to de-recognize us, because they have brought in this draconian Clinical Establishment Act, which is definitely going to make a closure of small-scale institutions like mine, because they are saying you cannot, set up your institution in a residential area. You should have such and such, specifications, which is very difficult in a city to establish. And is there any way that MSME thing can be, you can bring us under the purview of the MSME establishments and give us some sort of protection from the state government's witch hunt of small institutions? So these are my two concerns. I want Trivandrum, I'm not going global like Sunil, because I've done more than 71 countries, I'm back here. I want Trivandrum to be a global hub of medical tourism, and I request our honorable minister to do the initiatives to sort of promote us everywhere, and we are willing to travel to any extent to be part of your team, and also to get the medical visa process and make sure that the patients don't have to go to a local police station to report. And I think it's more with Maldivian patients. I don't know about how it works. So that's for your information.
First of all, I congratulate you on your ambition and I share it. When I was saying that we should make heal in India but heal for the world, that is exactly what I am also talking about. That it should not be that, health, our dealings with the world means people go out from India to other people's institutions. We should build up, the value add is really people coming to our institutions. So I totally share, in fact, that is very much a sort of a policy and an objective that I have also looking ahead. In terms of the medical visas, to my best of my knowledge, in fact, there's been a lot which has been done in the last 2 years to actually streamline it. Because what used to happen, in fact, is that often the patient or the people with the patient would be asked for a lot of documentation in order to be eligible. So we have been trying to strike a right balance between having enough documentation so that we know they are credibly coming here, and because we can't have a situation where people say I'm going for medical, but actually they're not. Okay. So what we've done is, in many cases we have encouraged the embassies, saying, look, because most today, I mean, I do not know you, but if I was an ambassador and somebody said they're coming to you, I am pretty sure I can check up very quickly what are your bona fides. I mean, somewhere you will have a website, you will have something. In this information age, that's not difficult to do. So we have actually smoothened up the whole flow of medical tourism patients. In fact, I get much less complaints or concerns than I did when I first became a minister. On the going to the police station, that's not a regular, I mean, usually for in certain cases for certain nationalities we take some precaution, but I suspect that nationality doesn't come to you, you know. So I mean, I'm really a bit taken aback at what you are saying. If there is still such a practice, I will look at it, because first of all, nobody expects a patient to go and report to police. I mean, that is, but if even the people, because every patient, you know, is allowed to also bring an attendant. So I have to check whether there is such a rule, but it cannot be a standard rule. That much I'm pretty sure. If in some situations, if some state government has, you know, such a practice, I will look at it, but I would tend to agree with you on a sort of common sense basis that we should really be promoting medical tourism.
Good evening, sir.
Well, thank you very much. We have had a discussion rather than just listing of ideas.
So,
No, just one second.
okay.
So we want to close at 9 o'clock. The presence of the Foreign Minister was very helpful. You have contributed a lot to the discussion. So my job is less because some of the problems have been solved already. So thank you very much for it. And we have to close at 9. So maybe we can have just one more question and then some organizational matters. But as far as lists are concerned, I'm going to give you the number and the Gmail address to which you can send as many suggestions as you want. So just the last question, please. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Riddhik here. I am a house surgeon from SUT Medical College, Thiruvananthapuram. My concern is that when we talk about the quality of health as a whole, when we talk it in a holistic manner, actually there is a huge amount of brain drain that is happening now. It's primarily because of the fact that we are overworked and we are underpaid. As well as that, there is a very bad and it's a very toxic culture that is going when we deal with the residents, like junior residents, senior residents, as well as the house surgeons. When we compare it with a developed nation, like India is a developed nation now, so we need to uplift our internal system to such a manner to cope up with that, to match that. Then only we can provide such a quality health service here. Because all the high quality doctors, like they are preparing for some examination to clear it to reach to a much more developed nation, which provides such good facilities as well as a very good atmosphere to work in. So that's a concern from the side of young doctors here. So the central government can work upon that, and I'm sure that you can come up with a very good solution in order to improve the internal structure of the doctors as a whole, especially young doctors. Once we reach up to a particular level, it's not the same, but still. Yes, sir.
Would you like to?
Look, all of us are agreed that we need to improve the country, improve the institutions, improve the practices. But eventually, how will it come? It will come only if all of us do it. You know, we are, let us say, we are looking at medical profession. A lot of the impetus for change has to come from within the profession, has to come from, you know, because at the end of the day, even what does the government do? The government also listens to the medical profession in different ways, absorbs the messaging from it and then tries to make it into policy. So for me, the good thing with, the point you are making, it shows today what is the common point in everything which everybody has said. There's a great desire for self-improvement in this country. That is really what we need to capture in different ways. And the other thing I would say, it is not that there is here and someone from outside, some other entity is going to take the responsibility for bringing that. Even the process of voting, what is it? We are all deciding who should be the right people to lead us. So it has to come from within also. I agree with you. I think the government, state government, central government, all the institutions need to be responsive, need to be sensitive, need to have feedback. And in many ways today technology enables it. Even look at what Ambassador Srinivasan just said. All of you please give your suggestions. 20 years ago nobody would have said that. That itself is a change. But as I said, I take everything that all of you are saying as reflecting the desire today to keep changing, keep improving, keep growing. This is the journey and this is the vision with which, we are all working together.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. The last question.
Good evening,
Briefly, please.
Hi, sir. Good evening. My name is Dr. Rahul. So, sir, this has been a very common doubt for me. So, today we have all been discussing about the limitations we have in our health sector and the financial funding problems that we are facing for a very long time. So, and this is a very common issue pan-India. So, my doubt is, in 2023, when we had our budget session, I had a look at a Hindu newspaper and the heading which showed that health sector was only being allotted 2.3% of the total GDP. Whereas our military and all other sectors had a huge denomination or a percentage being granted towards it. So I'm not saying that we have to decrease it for our military sectors, but if we look at it in another manner, we fought COVID very well. We stood up as an example to the whole world. So don't you think that if we improve or if we actually gather a little bit more of our GDP towards a health sector, don't you think that we'll be able to bring out a drastic change? So it's been I never got a platform to ask this, and I'm very happy I got you today.
No,
so yeah, this is my question.
Again, I think it's a good question, and I want to say it is actually very much part of our thinking. And by the way, just for the record, we have actually tried to keep expenditure in various domains under control so that socio-economic expenditure goes up. If you look at the record, especially of the Modi government, actually you should not look at health in isolation. Take something like today nutrition. Look at actually the expenditure today which we are seeing in providing programs, funding like Jan Aushadhi or funding Anna Yojana. Look at the immunization. Look at even something like water. Water has such a fundamental correlation with health. So do look at it in a kind of a holistic perspective, but I can tell you, certainly I know this is very much Prime Minister's intent to keep increasing the health. In fact, the focus, you look at the last few years, how many health related programs have come up. That itself shows you the direction we're going, and I think a very large part of the policy making circles, certainly in the government, share that objective.
Sir, my follow-up question to this is see, if we actually have a look at all our primary health centers, so everywhere we have, everyone is saying about staff deficiency, and on top of that we have a resource deficiency. So I agree that state government also plays a role in providing the health equipments, but on the whole, if we look, even if it's the state government or if it's the central government, if we can come up with a common denominator, this much percentage has to be given towards the health sector, so that it will actually reflect on our HR improvement. And that will naturally improve our total development, right? So, I mean, this is a common doubt. I'm not an economist. It's just a common observation I had, and I just wanted to share it with you.
Thank you.
Would you like to? Okay, last. All right. Okay, one more.
So I think last is last now. Last is Ambassador Srinivas.
Good evening, sir. I am a dental surgeon. And I am talking on behalf of the dental surgeons. See, we provide a lot of jobs as an entrepreneur to a lot of people. We don't have any dental assistants, so we have to train them and make them as a dental assistant. And we are being supported by the dental labs and the dental industries also. So it's a big, huge investment in it. So, but I don't see any encouragement from the government to the dental sector. We have been neglected a lot. And there should be a world health policy which can take India ahead, because healthy mouth is, in a healthy body is always belongs to a healthy mouth. So, you know, as you said, you don't trust any dental surgeons abroad. We are very good, and we are really good. So I request you to support us a lot. And we're having a lot of trouble with the clinical establishment bill, which is giving us a lot of trouble, because most of us want a very little small clinic, and it is being run in few rooms, and we provide opportunities, but there is a throttle on our neck not to work. They are trying to shut us down. And this is a common problem for all of us, all small running hospitals. And
thank you. You know, as a dental patient, I am very much in sympathy with you. And you know, your point as well as what the other gentleman said, doctor, about smaller practices being, you know, can they actually be looked at like an MSME? I mean, to me, these are two very interesting ideas. I am not in a position, honestly, to judge the merits of the ideas, but I certainly will carry it back and talk to people